click the subscribe button to show us your support, and also the bell button to get notified if a new video were to come out. Hey guys, and it's the World Conqueror here, and first of all I would like to start off by apologizing for disappearing without a trace for a few months for my YouTube channel. And well, I'm here to tell you that I'm officially back, and the reason that I have disappeared from my YouTube channel for a couple of months is because I have been undergoing internships. And yes, I am back, and well, I actually have a couple of Rainbow Six Siege that I would actually like to play and upload them soon. But for today, we'll be going to check out the EasyTech current and latest trailer, which is World Conqueror 4. Now, one of you guys in the comment section in one of my older videos have actually told me that EasyTech latest game would be World Conqueror 4, and well, you are right, but I'm sorry I can't remember your YouTube name, so well, if you're out there, you know who you are. Now, without further ado, let's start with the trailer. Now we actually have a good look at the World Conqueror 4 homepage, which actually looks like there's a scenario, conquest, domination, and the HQ. For the domination part, it looks something like the European War 5, as for those of you who do not know or have not played European War 5, basically domination in the European War 5 game is called Empire mode, and it's basically something like conquest, but it's not actually conquest. They have the cities up and you have to actually manually attack the cities. And also in that Empire mode, you can actually build some cities that will have taverns that will give you weapons, some will give you princesses, and the others will give you generals. Above domination tab, we have the scenario tab, which is most likely the campaign, as the conquest is just beside it. And that pretty much sums up the World Conqueror 4 homepage, and now we'll move on with the trailer. And here we have the home screen for the campaign page, which has the tutorial, World War II Europe, World War II Pacific, and the Cold War. Now looking at the campaign that has been already laid out, we can see that there's, well, World War II is separated into two sections, the European part and the Pacific part. Now I don't hate that they actually separated it into two parts, but then we actually have the glory of generals already, so this actually is more of a repetitive. But what I would actually like to see would be the World War II, which is combined of Europe and the Pacific part, followed by the Cold War, and then the modern era. And that could be futuristic, and not too futuristic, but maybe somewhere between 2018 onwards, and EasyTech can actually come up with their own campaigns. And going back to the Cold War part, below Cold War we can see that it actually states that it's coming soon, which, what does that mean exactly? Does it mean that it's actually an online game where coming soon may mean a few weeks to months after the game's official release? Or is it like, do we have to pay for an in-app purchase for the Cold War part? In World Conqueror 3, after the Cold War, there was actually the alien invasion campaign, which wasn't shown, so it was actually a surprise to many of us. And the conquest was also later on added for the alien conquest era. So hopefully in World Conqueror 4 there will also be this alien attack, or maybe the modern war, as I was saying. And the last thing I would like to add would be, is this Axis and Allies campaign going to take place just on the European plateau? Because I mean, the tab says it is Europe, so it will obviously take place in Europe and Pacific, so on. But what about the alternate side to it? Because one thing I love about EasyTech games is they actually play with the alternate scenarios. But then in Europe and Pacific, do we actually get to see the invasion of the Americas after the downfall of Europe and the Pacific if we were to play as the Axis? And also will we get to see more of the Middle East and Africa campaign? Maybe build up actually make the Southern Hemisphere look more playable, as in World Conqueror 3 the Southern Hemisphere wasn't really that much of a playable thing, as it only had a couple of cities in Africa and in South America and Oceania. And what they state here would be there's 216 military units and different ways of attack. Now, I highly doubt there will be 216 different types of military units, which is a combination of the army itself, the air force, and the navy, because most likely they're going to be stacking them up like in European War 4. My guess is, as you can see where they selected the tank, you can see the other tanks and the artillery, they have two human figures there, which means most likely we can build the weapons up. Maybe we can stack them up, and more humans means more damage, more health, things like that. Something like in European War 4, Napoleon, if I'm not wrong. Yes, but I'll still be very much impressed if they can actually create maybe 100 different type of military units. And there's also the second part, which says there's the various ways of attack. Does that mean it's not going to be the tradition? I mean, it's going to be other than the traditional army, navy, and air force, and we are maybe attacked by a different way, such as the kinetic bombardment, like what we see in World Conqueror 3 with the ion cannon. One thing is for sure is that there will be nuclear weapons in the game later on in the trailer. At the top corner, you can see money, technology, and industry. But what happened to the oil resource? For example, I mean, you need the oil to run your tanks, for example. So will they be adding in the oil resource, or is it just mainly unlimited oil? Because I don't see an oil fuel anywhere. Maybe later on in the trailer they will show it. And I would like to bring your attention to this part, as you can see that the German Panzer tank has just entered into the enemy Soviet territory, but you can see that they have not taken the Soviet land, which I would say now that it is a good thing actually. It's a pro and a con thing, as you're playing as the attacker and you technically can't claim their land, so you can't build your fortifications on it. But then if you're playing as the defender, it is a pro to you, as you can build the fortification even though the enemy has just taken your land or walked past your land. This is a far-fetched theory, but it most likely will also apply to your allies, such as your maybe considering the Germans, the Italians will not be able to take the German lands in conquest, for example, as in World Conqueror 3, it's really a mess, as every country is taking everyone's land, and it's hard to build your fortifications on it when everybody's taking everyone's land. So it kind of gets messy, but now at least you can get to see your country borders without actually being too messy, and that's all one can hope for. And also in this part, you can see that the carriers for the troops are actually very similar to the Glory of Generals, to another game made by EasyTech, which actually shows the futuristic, I guess, carriers for their troops, which they have also applied to this game. So I guess they're combining every of their game into the World Conqueror series. And you can just have actually seen that they have actually you are actually able to place more troops in your army, which actually makes the point what I said just now earlier on, which was you can actually build up your army just like in European War 4, where you spend more resources building up your army, and it actually gets more powerful the more troops you put in one single unit. So I guess that's a good thing, as you kind of get too much resource and you got nothing to spend on, so you just put them all into one troop. And here we can see that there's one additional unit for the Air Force, which is the Stealth Strategic Bomber. They may add on other units later on, we wouldn't know. But for now, we can see that there's one extra unit. And you can see that there's 4 types of nuclear weapons that you can use. The first being the traditional nuclear sign, which means atomic or nuclear, possibly atomic. The second and the third and the fourth possibly would be, I guess, newer weapons, which we may not have encountered. Should the first stand for nuclear, the second, third, and fourth would be, maybe the second would be the antimatter bomb, which we have seen before in World Conqueror 3. But as for the third and the fourth, one maybe a black hole weapon, who knows. And I do have a theory about the other weapons. The first could be the traditional nuclear and atomic, but for the second, third, and fourth, they may just affect different type of units. For example, the second may only target maybe the naval units, which may fry all their components and render them unable to move. The third may destroy, or I guess it will wreck your airfields. The fourth may just demobilize your army. And also, who uses a nuke on a ship? I mean, it's kind of a waste to waste it on a submarine. And I would like to bring your attention again to this part of the map, which is basically like the Empire mode of European War 5. You can see that there is the attack, which is most likely timed missions, which may take up to 1.5 hours, and if you have the right generals for the missions, it may reduce the timing. And as for the blue color icons, you can see it's not situated on the tab at the side, but my theory would be those are like the ones you see in World Conqueror 3, where you again can place your generals in those missions and reduce time if they actually are the same skill level. And also they may unlock wonders, like literally they may unlock wonders such as maybe Big Ben or the Eiffel Tower, depending on if it actually is. And you can see on this page we can actually, I guess, unlock one of the wonders, the Brandenburg Gate in Germany. And this is a new thing. As you can see, Rommel is still locked, but maybe if you unlock him, do you actually get Rommel and Brandenburg Gate at the same time? Or if you actually have unlocked Rommel before, it actually costs cheaper to unlock the Brandenburg Gate? Or do you actually need Rommel to unlock the Brandenburg Gate, and you can't just unlock the wonder of the world without, I guess, Rommel? And in the middle you can see that there's the unlock with 2 swords, meaning maybe when you click on it you have to actually go through 3 rounds of fighting against enemy units to actually unlock Rommel, followed by the gate. And you can see that you can actually select your units and place them onto the map itself, and this is most likely going to be one of those AI take over your army and then fight each other type of mode, something that you have seen in European War 5 and Glory of Generals 2. It's not really a new thing, but the new thing here is that you can actually place where you want your troops to be. So the AIs won't just randomly throw your artillery in front of your tanks and make them the front line instead. So it's actually good, and I'm actually quite glad that EasyTech actually placed this critical information in to the game, because I have lost countless number of times because the AI decided that artilleries were to go first for some reason. And this is a new thing that EasyTech has actually implemented in, as it's not a world wonder, it's not a landmark, but it's more of like different buildings, individual buildings in individual cities. We have the blue tab, which could be a new tab, which is like society, as they don't really produce anything such as national monument, the fire administration, but laser radar is actually more of defense, and so is the national defense building and the underground fort. So we're not so sure why fire administration and national monument are grouped together. And we have the red tab, which is again military, the factories, the hospitals, space center, command centers, and broadcast towers. And it's a odd group again, because military, the space, and health, they kind of don't really they are not really in a group together. And then we have the green tab, which is even weirder, as where I mean it's not really that weird, as it's producing all the goods such as industry, the science, and the money and energy. So there is three main tabs: the blue, red, and green. But again, I don't see any oil, or maybe we are not supposed to produce oil, I guess. In this alternate universe, oil is plentiful, and well, we don't even need to produce oil. Oil is just lying in barrels everywhere. And we have the wonders page, and I'm actually not that much bothered that they use back the same images, as I mean, I find it quite nice to look at, so I'm actually quite pleased with it. And we have the generals page, and it's the usual thing where we have to reach a certain HQ level to unlock more general slots. And you can see here that there's over 50 countries, different eras, and there's 230 famous generals. And you can see that some of the generals have a red building icon above their name, above their icon, I guess. And maybe you have to unlock a certain building to unlock that general. So we don't exactly know, but it must differentiate them from the other generals that does not have a icon above them, I guess. And there's some collocation medals, which I presume must stand for allocation, unless I'm wrong. And if I am, do tell me in the comments, because I'm not so sure is there a word that actually means collocation. And here we can see that it's following the World Conqueror 3 method of upgrading your generals, customizing them to how you want them to be. You can go with a tank and artillery, or a tank and a navy. It all depends on you. And I do like this method of it, because it gives you more freedom in customizing how you want your general to be, however odd they might be. But then the thing is, the medals in World Conqueror 3 are kind of tight, and they do have medal producing wonders, and well, hopefully in this game there's also the same thing. And in this collocation box, we can see that there are medals, and most likely we can drag them in. And yeah, we can. So if we actually drag the medals in, do that mean we can actually drag it back out if we do not want it to be on, say, Manstein, for example? We want it to be on a different general. Are we able to do that? And another new thing about this game is that they actually have the technology page, and it's not like in World Conqueror 3 where you can just manually or singularly unlock a single tech such as Air Force. You actually have to unlock in this game the main structure, which is the mobility, followed by the and then it diverts into two paths, which is the mobility and the gun. I guess it's kind of strange how it suddenly diverts into an attack weapon from a, I guess, speed weapon or speed boost. So that's, I guess, weird. But then we'll see how it goes. And one more thing in this game is that they literally click Moscow like a few milliseconds ago, and yet here they show the city icon, which is the Empire State Building in New York. So how does that actually work out? It should be, well, I mean, for different countries, I would be more appreciative if they could actually customize it. If let's say you click Moscow, you would actually get the Red Square or the St. Peter's Basilica instead of the Empire State Building, as it is definitely wrong. And you can see that after building the radar station, it says that the morale of the troops won't go down in the city. So it actually is a benefit, as no matter how many times the enemy may nuke you or bomb you, your troops are just happy-go-lucky and they will never go down. And the national monument may actually increase your morale when you're getting nuked. So I don't know how that works. And fire administration may, I guess, for those of you that play World Conqueror 3, you know your cities will catch fire anywhere. It will catch fire except the ocean. So more than likely your fire administration won't allow your city to catch on fire, even though that's a bit unrealistic. And here we can see that there's a diplomacy tab. It does not look so far that there's any new countries added into this game, but maybe it's just in the early era, so who knows, in the later era there may be different countries that have not been added in before. And here we can see that the Soviet Union is giving the United States assistance. It's not really land lease, because I don't see anything or anywhere that this states that they will have to pay back to the Soviet Union. So it's more of the Soviet Union giving the United States assistance just for free. And I don't actually hate it. I'm actually welcoming it, as a lot of us know that playing World Conqueror 3, if you do capture most likely the whole of Europe and parts of Asia and so on, as long as your resource is producing too much and you're spending way too little, you reach a cap which is 9,999, and that gets frustrating as you are wasting valuable resources. So in this mode, we can actually give away our resource for free to our allies, which is a good thing. So we can actually produce for them, but then again, it doesn't say that it takes a few turns, so it's a bit unrealistic in that sense. And we are going back a few seconds to the world map, and you can see that it's just basically the same map as in World Conqueror 3, or maybe they added in a couple more cities, but overall you don't actually see much difference. You can see more or less the same cities in Germany, in the Soviet Union, so I guess no new cities, but hopefully there'll be new countries in the southern hemisphere that will get more cities in. And here we can see that there's 4 different types of missiles. 3 of them we know from World Conqueror 3, and the 4th being the ICB missile, which I guess is supposed to stand for ICBM missile. And anyway, it is the best tier missile, I reckon, with 24 range and 100 attack basic. And hopefully there'll be other missiles other than the ICBM missile and the other 3 missiles. And there's a link, you can go check it out, and it will bring you to EasyTech's home website where you can see their other games. And well, this brings me to the end of today's video. And well, I'll try again to produce more videos if possible, as I'm still undergoing my internship, but it's in a more relaxed state, I guess, and it's also finishing up. So after my internship, I can promise you guys that I'll again go back to my regular streaming of my videos. The link to the video trailer, this video trailer, will be in the description below, so do check it out. And if you guys have any other scenarios or questions or anything, suggestions that you would like me to do for my next videos, and or maybe how to improve on my videos, do tell me in the comment section below, and hopefully I'll get a chance to respond to your questions. I will be looking forward to hearing from you guys soon. So do tell me in the comment section below again. And well, thanks for watching. This is the War Declarer here, and until next time, goodbye.